Hi.
Good evening. Hello.
So
Can you
only
listen?
myself there. No one joined still.
Yeah.
We'll wait for another minute.
No, I think we will start. So, what's up? How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you today? So how
Yeah,
was the day started
fine.
for you?
Yes, it was good as well. It's been okay.
Hmm?
Yeah, it's been fine.
What's your weekend plan?
Well, I just have some tasks, some pending tasks I have to complete. So I'll be home all day. And
Right.
yeah. Okay, so we can't wait. The time is fast spent. So we've been discussing Metasploit. Yesterday we looked at what Metasploit is, and we said it's an open source framework. It's for pen testers, and basically provides services like exploits, payloads, post-exploitation, and so on. And we also gave some advantages of using Metasploit. So we said um, Metasploit provides constant updates because it has a very large community. So you find people developing and adding up to the modules and payloads and etc. We said there are many types of modules. I think we also saw that I think it's in the thousands and so. And yeah, there's a large community, and also it allows for custom scripts to be written and custom modules, payloads, and etc. So it has that kind of um, yeah. And then we also talked about um, how we should use Metasploit. We said it's a tool to be used ethically and also legally. So you don't want to use Metasploit for unethical means. So you have to get permission, not pertaining to the usage of the tool, but with respect to the target. So you need to get permission to scan or to perform attacks or exploitations on a target. So we said the best way you can use Metasploit is to build build your own lab using a virtual machine or virtual box. Or better still, you can build your own physical lab, with 1 or 2 PCs. It's good to go. So we also said we can use Metasploit for post-exploitation, which is the um, meta exploitable, um, which we can use to gain access after we have exploited the system. We need a way to maintain access or to escalate our privileges or to be able to perform some actions within the target system. And there are three key terms we probably didn't look at yesterday. Oops. Oh no. How do you send? So we have vulnerability, and when we talk about vulnerability, I guess we all know we are talking about those fixes, or system which allows hackers or hackers, okay, to gain unauthorized access to a particular computer system, to a network, or to a web server, or what have you. So that weakness is what we call a vulnerability. Okay, so take for instance, if you in real life, if you have and you don't have a good lock, okay, that can be a vulnerability because someone can easily walk into certain passwords, or if you are certain passwords, that someone can easily have access to your phone and put in that password. So we say it's a weakness. And then exploit. So exploit at ex so exploit is actually an attack on the system. Okay, so once a vulnerability has been introduced into your system, so exploit is the way in which we gain access to that vulnerability. Okay, so we can take advantage of that vulnerability you have, and we can have access to your system and do whatever we want to do. So someone can just have access to your phone and put in 1, 2, 3, 4, and maybe they might want to delete some files or some folders or do whatever they feel like. Yeah. So this is where we attack the system to gain access. And then we have payload. So a payload is the action that the threat can perform. Okay. So it can be um, in a range from like in the case of your vulnerable mobile. So the attacker can um, be able to have access to it and also be able to gain like personal information from you. Maybe you have your bank details there, okay, or your credit card details, or you have some sensitive or private data, okay. So that that means of going, we can say specifically to that kind of data, okay, can be considered as the payload. So usually it's a script, okay, when we are doing exploit. So for example, if we have successfully exploited a system and maybe we want to take a screenshot of what the person is doing, or we want to execute some commands within the system, so the payload will help us to connect maybe to the shell, um, and to be able to perform those kinds of actions. Yeah, so basically that's it. And so this is just the overview of the discussion from yesterday. And we'll go back to our practice, our demo.
Aisha, I have a request for you. Today, can we exploit in Windows machine? Let's see how it works out. Is that possible?
I was not able to get the window machine. Um, I'm actually facing problem with my laptop. I have a very low memory, and I have tried to delete, but I guess I have so many important documents that I can't just running virtual machines takes a lot of storage and a lot of memory.
Yeah,
But
right.
yeah, I was able to get one. I think it's a Ubuntu lightweight um machine. So we will also look at that. And I also downloaded one Windows, but I feared it was lighter and but it couldn't install because of the storage. So, but we will see what to do about that. Yeah, so I was actually able to download this Windows and this Linux machine, but the Windows is actually facing some issues. Um, yeah, it was just a standalone version, and it was light anyway, so I decided to download, but then it can't start. So I have to find means to clear some storage and get a more appropriate version of Windows. Hmm. I was able to get this Linux machine, so we will use for this demo. Yep. So we just power on, and I have to go to my Kali. So let's wait for the Windows to boot. Locally rather the Windows. Okay. So we can log in. So what we want to do here first is to get the IP address of our machine we can use for, okay. So this is what we need: 192.168.91 and 129. So this is our Kali machine. And then we have our vulnerable machine, which is running here in our VMware workstation. So let's try to ping and see if we can get access. 192.168.91.129. Okay, we can get response, so we get into the connection. So let's clear. So what we want to do, let's run Metasploit. And as we discussed yesterday, so MFS console. Oops. And it's starting up. And then it has started. Let's open another window. Because I guess we're going to be doing some lot of tasks, so we should have more than one terminal open. So the first thing we want to do, so if you get more comments, you can type in the help. Then we can get some details about your comments and what it does. Yep. So first of all, just as our other tools we've been using, like Nmap, there's a directory where all the files are stored. So here we're going to go to the directory where our Metasploit framework is sitting. So let's go to the root and USR and share and type ls. So here we can find our NG-RAW, we can find our Nmap and SQL map and several other tools have been we can find here. And I'm pretty sure we're also going to find our Metasploit. Oops, is it? Okay, so this is the Metasploit framework. So we can cd and ls, and we can find subfolders. So here we can find modus, we can find data, apps, and so forth. So let's just move into the um, modus folder and ls. And here we can find the models we discussed. We have exploits, payloads, auxiliary. So let's move over to payload or exploits and ls. And yeah, we can find exploits for Android, for Firefox, for Windows, for Linux, and so forth. So example, we can go to Windows and ls, and we can find several other exploits. So yeah, so this is how we access um, the folder. Okay, as we have been discussing in the past with the scanning and enumeration, so most of the time we have to get um, sufficient data before moving over to this stage. Yeah. So example, we need to know what are the um, what's the IP address of our target, and we can scan the target and find out some of the vulnerabilities that are within the target and so forth. So that also we are supposed to do. So let's for that we will use Nmap to scan our target. So Nmap, and we're going to use the script, and we also discuss what this is the vulnerability. So it's going to scan for all of the vulnerabilities that are within this target using this one. But if you like, you can specify exactly what vulnerability you're looking for, but we just want to include all of them. And then we follow the IP 192.168.91.129. I guess that's it. Yeah, it's taking a little while because that's a lot. That's the scan. So let's just wait a bit. So while it's still ongoing, let's get back to our Metasploit and escalate the screen. So here we can be able to list a particular exploit. By using find. Okay, and we will have a list of for my SQL login. For my SQL login, we can also search for um PHP. So we're gonna get several or the um exploits that are relating to PHP. We can yes for we can be able to search for particular say um, exploit that we might find probably in our vulnerable machines. So after we have gotten the list of all the possible exploits, we can search each of them using that search command, and then we can be able to use them for possible exploitation. Yeah, so I think it's done. So let's just go from the beginning. Yeah, so this is the IP, and we see that this port is open. Okay, this is the FTP port, backdoor. Okay, and it's exploitable, so we can exploit the system. And this is the CVE reference and the year it was reported. We can find, and we can be able to get this reference and read more about it. Okay, so if we just click, okay, yep. So there we have it. We have another one. We see that SSH is open, and this is another FTP backdoor. We have it with SSH open, Telnet is open, SMTP. Yep. So we can. There's a lot. This is vulnerable SSL. They are there with their references and explanations as well, and how you can perform them and yeah. This one we can find the path. Okay. Yep. So we can go through each of them and understand exactly what kind of exploits they are and how we can be able to exploit them. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna try it out. So first of all, like I said, we would need to get the information about what type of exploit it is. So we can do that by session. So the only way we can search is to get the name of the exploit. So we can use this, for example, and we just copied this one, and let's come back and search for this exploit. And okay, there we got no result. So let's remove this and just search no result. Um, Sometimes they are written differently, so we have to be. Um, yep. Okay. So 2023 salary. Yep. So I guess this is it. VSFTP PD. Mm, yep. So probably it is written differently. So you have to sometimes you should separate the words and search for particular words or phrases. So instead of the whole thing, you can search for a particular phrase or a particular word. Okay, for example, you can just search this word and then you'll be able to find different versions of it. So you can let's clear and we're looking for this. Yep. So what we can see here, we have the number, we have the name, disclosure date, the rank, check, and description. All right. Um, so we can use this information to be able to um, do the exploit. So to be able to do that, once we have these modules available, we can say use. Okay. So we can use these modules, okay, but we can reference it either by the number or we can put the name. So example, if we would like to use okay, the salary, so we just use 0 and we hit enter. Now we see that the auxiliary here has been taken here. Okay, so we can also use 1 and we'll see that now we have backdoor. Okay, so instead of using the entire name, we can just pass in the number. So again, let's use 0 and yeah, 0 is selected. And then like yesterday, so what we want to do is to get the options that are available for this exploit. So we can use option, other search options, or we can just put options. And now we see we have options of FTP pass, FTP user, our host, and our port. And these are the required. If it's required, okay, then it's yes. If not, then it's no. So you can either pass in the password or the username, but it's not required. The most required fields we have is the our port and the our host. So we can set the host because we don't have any host here now, but we have a port, so there's no need. So we can set the host, our hosts, to the IP address of our target, which is 192.168.91.129. Now we press enter and it's set. So we can just use run, and we're getting some info. So as already aborted due to field not vulnerable. So target is not vulnerable. Okay. So now, yep. So they are saying that the target is not vulnerable to this attack. I don't know what they meant. Yeah, but that is what we got. So let's go back. And let's try. Or before we sorry, I'm sorry. Use the X. So now we have the back door. So again, we type options, and the options are the host. So we just pass in the host. I just search for it. Type 192.168. So, and it seems to be going to do. So backdoor servers have been okay. Comment share has been found, and we have session 1 open. On this, and it's pointing to this. Yep. So it means that we have successfully exploited that machine, and a shell has been created. Okay. And to do the shell, we can have access to that vulnerable machine. So let me just zoom in now. So if we type uname, for example, we see Linus. Okay, so if we type pwd, we see that we are in the root directory. If we type ls, we see that we are yeah, here. So basically we have exploited that machine, and then we have been given a shell, okay, to execute commands. So example, we can go into the home directory, the cd to home ls, and we can see the users. So this is the admin user. If you can remember when I was typing in the username. So let's cd to msf admin and ls. So we can see this. Let me just clear. So we have 2 folders within this directory. So this is the directory within, and we have 2 folders. So now, okay. To be able to confirm that, we're going to go to the vulnerable machine and access this directory and see if we can get these 2 folders. So this is my workstation. Okay. So we type ls ewd, and we see that we are in the home directory and msf admin. And when we type ls, we see that we can also see the two folders. So let's go back. So here we're going to create some files and see if we will be able to get that. So let's create a new directory, mkdir. I'm going to name this directory hacked, and cd hacked. So there's nothing there. We're going to create one file. Um, hack.txt. And um, yeah, just whatever. Oops. I think I have canceled the session, but okay, let me go. Let's come back into our machine. And if we tap ls, we should be able to see. So this is the folder we created, hacked. And if we um, cd to hacked and ls, um, now they're telling us that we can have access to that msf admin. Okay, so now they're telling us we can have access to that file. I don't know for what reason. Maybe because it was created by a super user, because usually taking control in that manner will give some higher privileges. And so we cannot go into the folder, but at least the folder is there. And yep, but permission denied, we can have access to that. Let's see what happened.
Can you change
So
the
we don't
permission and
have,
say?
yep, we can do that. So chmod, um, so we just pass in all values. Hacked and see operation is not permitted. Chin. Uh, so we also don't have permission to change. Yep. So probably the user we logged in with is not an admin user, so they restricting us to some of this. But we can create our own folders and our own files. Yep. But yeah, so we were able to um, have access to that. So I'll just exit from here. So again, if we run the command, Now it's going in as a root user. So it's a more higher privilege than the existing logged in user. So that's where one of the issue is. So that user cannot have access to the files created by the admin user. So if we cd ls cd home ls cd users cdmsf admin, and yeah, so we can see all the files cd hacked ls. We can see our text txt, and we can see the messages. So let's close this. So yes. And yeah, we can still go back and see another exploit. So this one is given error, and they're telling us it's not exploitable. So yeah, some of them might be, some of them might not work. So this one is false, this one is false, this one is giving some errors. And this one is likely vulnerable. This is a DOS attack. And okay, so let's see if we can search that. So first of all, we just copy this and let's go back and search. So no result. Again, we want to remove some of the no result. So we just use this and then we can find slow loss. We have one auxiliary, we don't have any exploit. So we can use 0 and options, and we can see that we just have to set the remote host. Yep. And run. Oops. Okay, so this one is single host, not S. Yep. And then we can run. Now let's see what happened. Yep, um so for this we are not getting any um reverse connection because it's only an auxiliary. There's no exploit, so we will just leave that. So yep. So yeah, this is how exactly we use this Metasploit. So for example, we can locate several exploits by using locate. Um, Locate exploits, and here we can be able to find yep, all the exploits. Okay, yeah, we can find all the exploits, and this is the path to the exploits. Yep. So one main thing about Metasploit is basically getting your target scan and knowing exactly what are the vulnerabilities. Okay, what are the services running and um, what are their vulnerabilities? Okay, so once we can get idea about that, then we can use such information and this and search for the exploits within our Metasploit. Yeah, so there are a lot. So this is a PostgreSQL, but there's no reply from server, and the state is vulnerable. Maybe. So you can, yeah, try out them and see what happens. So example, we can search for PostgreSQL and we can find several exploits for it. Capture server, this is an auxiliary. And yep, you can scan for the version. Okay, so let's just try this example. So we can use this. We can get the options. We don't need parser, we just need so we can just pass in the host and scan. We can run, and yep, so we are able to get a version of PostgreSQL running it 3.1. Okay, and we see that this is the Linux Ubuntu 4.2.3. Yep. So we can search for exploits. So we have this exploits for Windows. Okay, so this one is basically for Windows. And this one is for Linux. So we can just try this one. So we say use this exploit. And then we pass in our hosts and we can exploit. Oops. So lhost, let's go to the options. So we need a lhost. And so the lhost is our IP address. So let's just get ifconfig. So this is our IP. Let's copy this. That lhost to this. Let's get the options again. So we need the lhost. Yep, lhost is set. And our host is also set. So let's just go back and set our host and let's exploit. Yep. So we see that we have a Metapletter shell. Yep. Now that this session is open, and yep, so we can be able to get um, server key and logs, the version we can get, and yep. So here now we can um, be able to view the logs of this SQL server and probably make some changes as well. So for example, we can look into the key and so this is the secret key, I guess, we can use for authentication. So these are very private informations that are not to be exposed. Then we have access to that secret key. So we can get the log, for example. I don't know what is this, but yep. So this is how actually we get that. So you can, you know, play around, just do the scan and get the results and play around with the results and see what is going to work best. Okay. So sometimes if you don't understand the results, you can follow the reference or you can copy the CVE and get more details about that particular exploit on how you can go about doing it and what are the commands you can run. Okay, and if you like example to get access to the database, if you have been able to exploit a system or you would like to download a particular file after you have exploited and all those kind of things. I guess I don't know if this download command can work. Yeah, I think so. So if we go back ls and if you'd like to download this server key, yeah, so it's downloaded and it's downloaded in a home directory admin and um server.key. So yeah, so we can download directly into our machine. Okay, So now if we we go back into our Kali and we go to this directory, we will see this file being downloaded in this location. So yeah, and we can also upload documents or folders or scripts directly into the targeted system. So yeah, play around and enjoy yourself. So like I said, if you have your maybe own machine or you have a virtual machine, you can try it out. Yep. So hopefully try to get a Windows machine and yep, we can be able to do some fun as well with Windows machine. So most of
So
the services running online are based on Linux operating systems. Um, yep, most of the servers are based on Linux. You barely find Windows, but yep, Windows are also um, a potential for exploits. So we will also try on that.
just one thing, I have looking onto the result. I just want to know how we ensure the vulnerabilities is fixed and exploited. Can you show me the output over there? How do I make sure it is cleared from the system?
I didn't get that.
So what I asked is, by looking into the result, how do I ensure the vulnerability which we perform now is exploited and fixed?
Mm, yes, so you are not fixing, so we are just exploiting, okay, to be able to prove to our client that their system is vulnerable. So to do that, we have to create a proof of concept like that. So we have to exploit the system. So for example, like the exploits we did, um, like the last one, we were able to exploit the PostgreSQL database server. Okay, we were able to find a version of the server, and if you check, you find out that that version of that server is out of date. Okay, so it's out of date. That's one of the reason we are able to exploit it, and yeah. So we exploited it, and we got the directory of the server. We got the secret key, which is one of the most important um, um, thing used for secure communication. Okay, we were able to get access to that. So yeah, so you can be able to also use the like I said, the CVE number, and you can read more about that vulnerability, and you can attach, your screenshot to that um um to that CVE, and you give a description of what it is and that you successfully exploited it, and this is the result you got, and these are the recommendations. So one recommendation could be um, to patch the server, or to find a more recent version of the server. Oops, I'm not able to get that. Yes, so yep. So basically that's it. So like we said, first of all, um you have to scan the target and make sure you get all the um vulnerabilities. And after you have scanned the target, so what you want to do is to get all those vulnerability listed, and then you can go to your Metasploitable and use the search command. Yep. So example, you can use Nmap script um, for vulnerability scan, and then followed by the IP address of your target. So once you're done, so the next thing is to um, get the name of the vulnerability and pass it into Metasploit. So you can use the search. So for example, you search for MySQL underscore login. If you found this as a vulnerability, you can search that, and you are likely to find a payload. Not a payload, but an exploit or an auxiliary. And after that, so once you find that, usually you find them with numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way down, depending the amount of exploits available. And you can just you can say use and followed by the number, which is in correspondence with that exploit. So once you have used that command, then you can do options, and they'll bring up the list of options that you can use. The most important options are the remote host, which is the IP address for your target. Okay, so once you see required um, of any options, then it means you have to give in that value. So how you can give in the value is a set, for example, arrow host, and then you pass in the IP. And you press enter. Once that is done, if it's an exploit, you just use the keyword exploit. Okay. And then you just wait, it's gonna run through. In some cases, you have to pass in the payload, okay, where you want to use a specific payload, then you can set the payload. Um, But first of all, you have to know what payload to use, so you can also search for payloads. Okay, so you can search for a particular payload, or you can search payloads that are within that exploit. But by default, if you don't set a payload, it's going to take the default payload most of the time, which is going to create a shell, Metasploit shell, for you to interact with the system after or post exploitation. So yeah, or this is the steps. These are the steps involved. So there are a lot of modules. There are a lot of exploits. So you just have to first of all scan the target and see what they are, and you have to be patient to read and get more details about the exploit. Okay, and yeah, try different exploits on um, and see which one works. Yes. So any other question?
I'll try this weekend and see how it works out for me from my system.
Yes, you should. Sure, you should. It's always good to give it a try. Um, uh, if you don't try, if you don't make mistakes, if you don't fail, definitely you are not going to be successful. Yep. So always try and make the mistakes, and you can learn from the mistakes, and you can gain experience, and then within time you can be the experienced person in that area. So this is just how it works.
Sir, am I audible?
Yes.
Sir, how exploit the target without using the Metasploit auxiliary modules?
Without giving the modules.
Sir, if take an example, if a system is vulnerable to the SSH remote access vulnerable, means how we can exploit that
Mm.
vulnerability without using the Metasploit auxiliary modules?
Without you
Yes, sir.
say.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Without,
but oh,
what are the approach
so
we can
so
take for this?
so like we said in previous sections, there are a lot of available tools we can use. So Metasploit is just one of them we're using, and we also say that the most effective and efficient way of exploitation is by manual means. Okay, like today we have a lot of automated tools. Okay, but they are based on we can say experience from past exploits. Okay, so most of the time, if you like to perform exploits on like 0-day exploits, that you have to put in more manual efforts. So for it's easier, okay, but for some sense you need tools because, for example, if we before even we can get to know if a target is vulnerable or not, we have to do scanning. Okay. So how can we do that scanning? Okay, we usually have to do it remotely because we might not have physical access to the system. So again, we would need a tool for that. So once we get access to like say um we know that this system is running an outdated version of, for example, Apache server or MySQL or FTP. Okay, whatever. So so manually we can make research about exploits that exist. Okay, CVEs. We can make research about exploitations that have been made with such systems. Okay, so once we get that, we can even write our own scripts. Okay, so nowadays nowadays we have Python available, which is a high programming language, high level programming language, which we can use. It's much easier, and yep. So we can even use Python to automate some processes. We can use some Bash script. Yep. If we are knowledgeable enough, we can write our own scripts. But yeah, if we want to go the other way around, we can use already available tools we can get in GitHub. It's not compulsory to use Metasploit or even Nmap for scanning. There are other tools we can make research and we can get them. You can get some for free, and some of the tools, of course, most of them, in fact, they are open source, so we can get access to them, or we can go in for the pay versions. Yep. So it's good.
Yeah, okay, sir. Sir, and I have another doubt, sir.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
Sir,
Yes. Yes. Go ahead. Yes.
mm. Sir, last week I read an article about C2 server, sir, command and control.
You said you were not part of the
Sir,
session.
sir,
Command and control.
yes, sir, command and control.
Okay. What about that?
Sir, I read an article about that, sir, but I didn't get understanding about that command and control. And I searched about it in YouTube. There is no videos about setup how it works and the implementation of the command and control in the perspective of attacker side and lot of things. There is no video like that, sir. Could you
Yeah.
teach?
I don't know. Probably because of, most times, like if you are making research, you have to use synonyms. You have to use some words probably that can substitute other words. Maybe the command and control could mean something else. Okay, which someone has already discussed that, but we have not discussed command and control, and but because in in every exploitation, um, we might want to have like a system wherein we can always connect back to our target. Okay, we might want to create a backdoor. We might um, want to have an account. We might want to create something that's going to keep us in connection to our target. So, like for example, we have in Metasploit, we have our Metasploitable, which um, help us to create a post-exploitation kind of sessions. So with that, we can have persistence connections with our target after we have.
Okay, sir. And in that article, I read
For other tools, for, for other tools, we have not discussed. But yes, so is the way that we might want to keep persistence with our target machines.
yeah, okay, sir. Sir, could you take this topic in any other day?
25 minutes now that have gone, so maybe it's almost 9:30. Hello? I think my network is
Yeah,
having problem. Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
Sir, what in any other day, sir?
Yeah, so I think it's almost 9:30. We have gone like an hour and some. So today is Friday, so hopefully by Monday we should be um yep, having another session. So what now we have to do is to make sure that we have the Metasploit on our machine. Let's build our own lab. Okay, just you can download whatever virtual box or workstation you can have on your machine and download like 2 or 3 operating systems to test against. Yep. So I hope we can do that this week, this weekend, and hopefully by Monday we should have Windows ready, or maybe we will start another session. I don't know, but we'll see how it works.
Yeah, okay, sir.
Yep. So thank you so much for being there, and do have a wonderful weekend, and see you on Monday.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Bye, sir.
Thank you. Okay.